Welcome to the November 2024 regular meeting of the Clemson Board of Architectural Review. My name is Todd Howard, and I serve as the chairperson of this meeting. The other members in attendance today will now introduce themselves.
Ethan Shop,
Pete Metzko,
David Allison,
Andrew Neptune.
The Clemson Planning and Codes office staff member in attendance is Jacob Peabody. The recording secretary of this meeting is Rebecca Wilbanks. BAR members are appointed by the Clemson City Council. The BAR's responsibilities focus on the design aspects of projects located within one of the 5 architectural overlay districts in the city of Clemson. A copy of the agenda for this meeting can be found in the outside lobby. If you are a member of the public and would like to speak regarding a matter on the agenda, you will need to read and sign the speaker's form. On the back of the speaker's sign-in form is a list of things that fall within the purview of the BAR and a list of things that don't. You will be asked for the signed form should you choose to speak. Anyone speaking will be required to stand at the podium, and there will be no speaking from the audience. The meeting will be conducted in the following manner. For each agenda item, the BAR will hear a report from the planning staff. After the staff report, the applicant will be given an opportunity to present their application and demonstrate that it complies with the relevant criteria. Any resident or owner of a business or property in Clemson is allowed to comment on the application and provide feedback to the BAR at each review stage. Speakers will be given 3 minutes to provide comments and feedback. Please consider appointing a spokesperson if there are multiple people wishing to speak. Please do not repeat information already presented by someone else. Questions asked by the board during a presentation will not count toward the time limit. At its discretion, the board may allow the applicant 3 minutes for rebuttal. All comments and questions must be directed to the chairperson, who will respond or direct the question to the appropriate party for a response. Any written comments received by the planning office a week ago or longer have been submitted to the BAR and will be considered in its decision. After all comments are offered, the chairperson will close the hearing portion of the meeting, and the BAR will discuss and evaluate the information presented in the context of the requirements of the city code. We ask that you please turn off all cell phones or place them in the silent mode. As a reminder to board members, please avoid side conversations and crosstalk. Again, welcome to the meeting. So we will first start by adopting the minutes from August the 6th. So is there anybody that would like to make a motion that we adopt the minutes from August 6th?
so moved.
A second?
second.
All those in favor of adopting the minutes, please raise your right hand. Minutes adopted then. That moves us to our action items, okay? So since it looks like applicant Chris Kraft is not here, we're gonna move to the second, which is applicant Rebecca Telefaus, is that right? Okay, so we're gonna start with that. North Atlantic Installation is requesting a variance from table 191110 3M to replace the faceplate of an existing freestanding sign at 521 College Avenue. So we'll hear from Jacob first.
Yeah, so this is an application, this district doesn't allow for freestanding signs anymore. And in the ordinance, even to replace the face with a different face, so if you're doing exactly the same, it has to go in front of the board for review. The intention of this ordinance is, if you were to rebuild the building, it would have to come the building would come forward, and you wouldn't need a freestanding sign. This is an existing building that is off the road by quite a bit, and there's really nowhere to put a wall-mounted sign on the building itself. But yeah, to get a variance, you need to go from this board for even a freestanding sign, even to replace the face. There is an allowance for multi-tenant signs can replace the individual ones, but for a standalone building, there is nothing in the ordinance that allows them to just replace it without your permission.
And just as a reminder, we'll go through the justification of the variance when we get to that point, right? Okay. Would the applicant like to step up to the podium? If you would just introduce yourself and then share with us any information you'd like for us to have.
My name is Rebecca Telefaus. I'm from North Atlanta Installation. To what he said, we're just asking for the face replacement because, as he said, the building is pretty far set back. There's no place on the building to actually put a wall sign. It's mostly window fronts. It has some small columns. But we did get the awnings. You asked about the awnings I heard earlier, but we did get those permitted already. They have 6-inch copy across the front. So as you're driving down east to west, that monument is really needed to get you into that bank because the building is so far back on the road. So we're asking that you grant us that face replacement since we no longer allow monuments. They did have a logo change, so of course, they would like to change to a new logo.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And you're welcome to take a seat, and if we have questions, we'll ask them. Is there any public input for this item?
I just have one question are you guys replacing any of the bulbs inside at all, or is it just the faceplate? Or you're changing out the lumens inside?
Normally, if the landlord requested or the owner requested, we do service them at time of face replacement.
Okay.
I don't believe that there was any outages at that time.
Okay.
So this is an internal
My question
limits.
is, are you going any brighter or anything?
Huh?
Are you going any brighter? Like,
No, it wouldn't change. It would be like, it would be, if there's anything out, it would replace like for like. Yeah.
So would the materials make it brighter with the same
No,
lights
sir,
inside?
the only thing that does illuminate are the actual letters themselves. They're what you call routered out, back pushed through. So the only thing, it kind of has like a little halo around each
So a
letter.
little white.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the white face is opaque.
yeah. Yeah,
And
so
so are
it's
the-
very small illumination.
And so is the color, the red and blue, it's just kind of the outline that will show?
Yeah, kind of a halo effect.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that. Because they have the vinyl in the front and it's clear on the sides, so.
And I assume there's no public input for this, so we will,
And it is on a dimmer, or do we have all?
This one's currently not on a dimmer, the existing sign, so I was kind of wondering how much of the innards they were replacing on it. That was one of my questions, but I don't know. It's
So
currently
do
not.
don't we stipulate dimmers so that we can control it if it turns out to be too bright or no?
That's up to you guys. I don't know how hard it is to retrofit dimmers sometimes. Like, building new, it's no problem at all. I just don't know what that would take for
There's
some.
not a way for us to put it on the outside for you to be able to change it.
No, yeah, for you guys.
Yeah.
Do in the future, yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was trying to gauge if that was appropriate or not for this one.
and no light outside of the side of the sign, right? It's all just around the
It's
letters.
just around the letters. It's like a halo effect. It's very low glint light.
Okay, so feel free to ask questions, share your ideas, and then we'll get into the 3-item test for justifying a variance.
Well, I mean, if just changing the logo, as long as it's not brighter, based on the materials, I have no problem with just changing a logo. I mean, this building is back, but the proposal to make sure this variance has a stipulation that if the building is developed, this variance is no longer valid. So that, that stipulation should be put in. Other than that, I got no problem.
I do have one question. How thick are the letters? Like, I see height, I see width.
I don't know if we've gotten any detail on that yet because we're waiting for the approval, but usually half an inch thick.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see any reason, I know we have to go through the variance piece, but, I don't see any reason not to approve as far as the aesthetic.
So do you all feel comfortable going through the 3 items?
Yep.
Okay, so the way this will work is you have to pass each one first to move on to the next one. So we'll start with, to adhere to the regulations would result in an unnecessary hardship. So as a reminder, the building is further back or farther back from the street. Readability of a sign on the building or even the possibility of a sign is limited. So the monument sign is there to notify pedestrians and drivers that this is what this building is. So if you agree that to adhere to the regulations would result in unnecessary hardship, please raise your hand. Okay, so that moves us to the next. The alternative site planning and or building design approach meets the same design objectives as the regulations. So if you feel like what's being proposed here meets the objectives of the regulations, please raise your right hand. Okay, so that moves us to our third. The character of the district will not be harmed by the variance being granted. All those who approve that, please raise your right hand. Okay, so therefore we grant the variance. Do we want to add anything in terms?
I would add a stipulation to put in that the variance will expire if the site is redeveloped.
Okay.
That to me is part of 2.
Yeah, So do we need to add any more verbiage to our approval of the variance?
As long as that's stipulations, then that's fine.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? When you
Yes.
say redevelop, does that include painting of the building or anything?
Oh, no, if you were to tear down or drastically add on or.
Or if
They will ask that.
You would not be able to build this building right now by the current.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have the occupant changed, the new signage were being proposed, it would.
Yeah, we still have to go before you guys again.
Yeah. So,
Okay, thank you very much.
Sometimes with people, they rip down a whole building and leave the freestanding sign just so they can keep it. They hate it when they do that.
So it looks like the other applicant is not here.
Not here, I don't think.
So do we discuss it all just to kind of get a sense of where we are, or just call it?
There's nothing in the order, there's nothing that says they have to be. Usually it is our practice that we, want them to be here for discussion, but that's up to you guys.
Now, what kind of, I mean, are these just like the basic marquee lights, are they white LEDs or are they like the old timey yellowish? Because I couldn't see that in any of this,
Well, I wanted to know whether they were
marquee
colored
style
or
lighting.
not. Yeah.
With the LED on static with a dimmer, but the old style lightings, like with the old movie theaters, used to have a little yellowish light.
Okay, so you guys wanna know like what the Calvin
Yeah.
level is?
So they're they're static, they're not running, you know, like.
Oh, the tracing, yeah.
Yeah.
well, it does say
It does say static,
It did say that.
LED static and on a
dimmer. And they will be white.
where does it say?
I know, I'm asking the question.
So that's what we
I don't
need.
know.
That's the only
what I know
question.
is like, yeah, like how warm and how
Yeah,
sterile they're
exactly.
gonna be.
That's
That's usually the Kelvin
Warm-
level.
Warm white.
If that's what you guys want, or do you have any input?
That would be the only question I have.
I would prefer warmer light.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure.
I mean, I'm not sure I would even
Yeah.
approve.
Yeah, but those are
So
definitely
the
some
question I know
questions.
is the Kelvin level, how warm,
Yeah.
how white it is versus yellow. Okay.
Well, I mean, I think at night, and that's the other stipulation, is that they're only on at night, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I think at night, it can look
I mean,
quite,
it does kind of add character to the old
Yeah.
style downtown, the old style of the building.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone's gonna wanna do it.
Yeah, well, not everyone's a theater.
And I'm not
No
sure
one else
about-
is a movie theater though, you know?
Well, walk-ons was.
That's true.
Okay, so,
Okay, so I'm gonna ask them for that information for when they come back in front of the board.
awesome, thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, do we have any staff reports?
No?
Okay. Any other business?
I'd like to bring up the issue of getting BAR approval for all PDs in the city. I would like this to be brought up again.
Okay.
I'd get it on the record, that I'm requesting that
Okay.
to me. And so, what's the next step for that?
You got planning commission, city council.
Okay,
That's it.
can I,
Do we need to craft like a formal letter?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if you guys want to, if there's no, they don't have to take it up if they don't want to. There's no way you can force it.
It's a great timing today.
So one of the things that the EDAC board does is they make a recommendation to council. So if you.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the best
Well,
way to do it. Do an
but-
actual vote recommendation, do it as a decision, and then, at least it's on the record.
well, see, that's just, I want to move it from a recommendation to a Board of Architectural Review. Because in my mind, a PD is not a PD if it's only a zoning ordinance. So,
Yeah.
and so, so I'd like to,
Well,
again, try to
make a
move this
motion that
forward.
you, like, make a formal of that, and then have the rest of the board second it, and, so second it and, like, vote on it, and we'll,
Okay, I would like to move that all PDs in the city of Clemson be required to come before the Board of Architectural Review for approval.
and we want to second that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay.
Let's take a roll call vote.
yes, I just was thinking about a point of clarity.
Oh, yeah, what, about what?
In sense of like, I like the idea of approval. I'd just like to have more input in the process along the way, but approval, I'm worried that might not be.
Well, here's the thing, is,
Granted.
is the whole idea of a PD as an instrument for,
It's been put in there that it can go, goes, actually, I think it might. I have to check, it might have actually been put in there that.
We
they
have a
will.
recommendation, we've been invited to meet with the planning commission.
We recommend.
We recommend, but to me, the whole idea of a PD is to grant an applicant greater latitude, but hold them to greater accountability. And with a
Without
PD,
going in front of the bar, then you're not,
there's no accountability.
I don't want anything to go PDs
And it
anymore. I
becomes
want
a-
everything to be go by, be ordinance. I don't really like PDs, but I can't control that.
But I'm saying, if it's a PD, then that's what it should do, because it allows the developer greater creativity outside of the standard zoning regulations.
When
But
it gets to-
it should hold them to greater accountability in terms of what they build. And and the way we run a PD in this city right now is we just make it a single development zoning ordinance. And so it fails to satisfy the intent of a PD as a development instrument.
But I thought if it's all in the AR districts, it has to come before us anyway.
No, it doesn't,
No, it doesn't.
because it's taking it out, yeah.
That's out of our purview, that's, some of the.
And so right now, PDs are exempt from Board of Architectural Review. So what I want is all PDs, whether they are in an overlay district,
Okay, even outside of.
even
Even if
outside.
they're outside, okay.
And that's, if you think about it, the most successful PD we've had in Clemson is Patrick.
Yeah, it'll be the step in the application process would have to go in front of there. Okay.
Okay, so we had a motion and a second, so,
They have discussed it, I don't think they ever added it. Because they thought they added some language saying that they have like the ability to have a joint meeting.
Yeah, we've had those.
Yeah, we've had them, and you can.
We only get a recommendation. We don't get, it's not, right, because our approval is.
and we don't even make a recommendation to the council, it's just to the
No,
planning
I mean,
commission.
you can't even, if we deny it, it doesn't even go before the city council. Because we're an autonomous body.
F, Jacob,
F,
F1.
okay.
Planning commission may hold a
Yeah.
second workshop to review the.
This is what they add, this is, when it was brought up, this is what they
This is
ended
the
up adding.
advisory thing, yep.
Yeah, planning
But I'm-
commission may hold a second workshop and review the planning development. This session may also include participation of the members of the Board of Architectural Review to evaluate the proposed architectural center.
This,
Comment-
yeah, there's a lot of maze in
a lot of
there.
maze.
Yeah, this has been brought up before, and that's what came out of it. They didn't want to have it as you guys approval.
To me, I think it's the developers getting some freedoms, that they should have an extra review, and it should be, again, right now, it becomes now a political decision, as we've all seen.
Yeah.
That is true. Well, we had,
And that'll be fun for you guys too. That's all. Okay.
but we don't have to get elected.
Okay, so we'll draft up a formal letter from the BAR, if you're comfortable signing it, Todd, and then we'll, present it to the planning commission.
Did everyone vote?
Do we want to do the?
Sorry, yeah.
Okay, so we had a motion and we had a second
A second.
that PDs have to be approved by BAR. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Aye.
Okay, so yes, I'll be happy to sign that letter.
Okay.
Yeah, because we need more to do.
Yes, yes.
I'm tired of signs, we need more.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, when you think about design coming into
I don't know where
play.
we're
I'd love to actually approve architecture as opposed to
I
science.
guess we're still on the clock.
We're still being recorded.
We're still.
Okay, so that concludes everything, right? So I'm going to adjourn, so meeting adjourned.